So we're going to review TPC Toronto Osprey Valley. This is the first hole on the Hoot course, the south course. The course that goes through some type of the pines, the Carolina pine trees. It's very different from the heathlands and very different from the north course. So the hole we have right here from the second last tee deck starts here. It goes straight through par 5, measuring about 520 yards long. So from 520 yards long, that hole probably is a hole where you can get to in two, that you can reach the green in 2 shots. So there's our straightaway. If we took the straightest line to the middle of the green, there it is. We can see we have water here on the right by the green, but we'll look at that when the time comes. So we're going to evaluate what we can do off the tee. We want to hit the ball as far as we can. We want to be able to advance it as far as we can off the tee, but we want to also make sure that we can hit it again. It's a long hole. We need a full swing for our second shot, just as important as our first shot. So we're going to take a look at what our landing area looks like. Now, my drive flies in the air approximately 275 yards, and it can go anywhere from about a 45-yard window. So if I take a look here at about 275 yards of carry, lands me right about there, right at the beginning of that bunker. So my line is going to be on the edge of that bunker right there. So that's the line that I'm going to take on the far left edge, or the far left side, left possibility of my line. And now let's take a look at the far right side. So if I go from here at my 275 yards of carry, and I go across here about 45 or 50 so yards, right about there, I'm still in a pretty good spot. That's not too bad. Oops. So that's a good spot right there. And then I'm going to draw another line for my furthest right possibility, or my furthest right line, which is right about there. So when we start to see what our, let's call it our cone of possibilities, our window or our triangle of possibilities, that's where I'm going to try and hit my golf ball. Somewhere landing it somewhere around that yellow line, and it's going to roll a little bit further. Now, through my own dispersion pattern, I recognize that when I aim at something, 7 balls end up to the left of my target, 3 balls end up to the right. The 7 balls to the left of the target are farther from the target than the 3 balls to the right. So that tells me that I should be aiming around 7/10 of the way from the left side of this cone, of this area. So we're going to take another line here, and we're going to draw it from here at about 7/10 of the way, roughly, sort of about there. So that line, if we save that line, and we're going to save that in our blue, because our blue is going to be our target, what we want to try and do, that's the line that I'm going to take approaching this hole. So if we take a look at it, we zoom in a little bit, we can see that from this tee box, the line of sight is straight over that bunker, down the right side of the fairway. So if I miss it to the left, still okay. If I miss it to the right, still okay. And that's going to be my approach shot all the way down there. So if I do approach that, and I do take that shot, I do take that line, I'm going to take another line here from where I am. I'll end up somewhere around here. And my line into the hole is about 215 yards from there. So at 215 yards away from the hole, or away from my target, to me that's going to be about a 4-iron if I needed to land it that far. So I'm in the middle of about a 5-iron and a 4-iron if I want my ball to stop at 215 yards. Now, at 215 yards out, I have a little bit of a less window. My window's not quite as wide as my driver back here at 45. It's about 37. So if I take this line right here and go with the green all the way across, we can see that I've got about 23 yards. If I keep going, I'm looking at somewhere around a window of 37 yards is right there. So let's go back to our approach that we took on the first tee shot. We're going to start right here and recognize that, okay, well, I'm going to have to hit it there at no less than 215 yards carry on that line. Let's save that. And if I took the same type of an approach on the other side, recognizing my window or my line of flight, keeping me in a good shape. I can land it anywhere. I don't have a minimum carry. I just don't want to hit it too far. But again, my 215-yard shot is my line, is what I'm trying to get to. So if I tap that down, there we go. So now I have my cone and my window and my availability for what it is that I can do from 215 yards, what my potential for my shot is. Anywhere right there inside that red cone is what my potential is going to be with that club. So if I take my line somewhere around here and I aim my same type of scenario, it's about 6 out of 10 from the left side. I'm a little straighter with the irons off the ground than with the driver. And I want to try and hit it right about there at 215 yards. If we save that line as our blue go-to, what we're trying to do, color, we can see here that that would then be my shot into the green. And I would give myself either a chance at eagle or an up and down for birdie. Because if we take a look and we notice and we zoom in, the potential for me to miss this shot off the green, well, all of this area here is off the green, so I'd be chipping from there. Now, if the pin, well, in all honesty, if the pin is anywhere on this green, I would take the same approach. If the pin's at the very back and I wanted to give myself a chance to hole it, then I would take this red line and I would put it just past the hole and I would approach the system like that. And I could very well do that, but I'm going to give myself a chance here at a green that's not very big. If I give myself a chance to either get up and down or have a chance at eagle, that's kind of what I'm looking for. So when I zoom out or zoom in, I realize that my potential of possibility is not hitting the green. There is a good chance there, but none of that's trouble. It's not a very difficult shot, where if I move this cone, this red triangle, and I move it back up into this area, I start bringing in water, I start bringing in the bunker, I start bringing in all of this area up here, which is a little bit of a higher elevation than down here. We're going to be hitting downhill from there. So when we start to look at how we're going to play the first hole here on the south course, on the Hoot course, we're going to take a tee shot straight over the middle of the first bunker, which should land us somewhere in the middle of the first set of bunkers, roll us out a little bit to a flat spot. From there, I'll hit a 5 or a 4 iron, aiming just to the right edge of the green so that this ball ends up somewhere near the hole, whether it's near the hole on the green or it's near the green with an easy chip and a putt. And that's how I'd approach the first hole at the south course at TPC Toronto.